Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to look at the same questions that I answered last year and the year before that and the year before that. I believe this is the fourth time we're doing it and it's interesting seeing my own answers evolve over the years, so let's get started. So how many subscribers do I have on my channel at this point? I didn't grow that much this year. I have 2,144 subscribers and it's not something I'm mad about. I made a few necessary changes to my channel this last year to make sure my content goes to the type of people I wanted to go to. My favorite video of the year, I'm sure, is no surprise. It is this cute little announcement video I made for our engagement. Spoilers if you didn't already know, but I just think it's so cute. It brings up all the happy feelings when I watch it, so definitely my favorite video of the year, and it will probably be my favorite video for a very long time. For my least favorite video of the year, we have two contenders. First, it's the video where I got my super long acrylic nails put on. It was a pain to get, it was a pain to edit, it just took so long. It was a pain to film too, so like the whole process of making that video really sucked. But now that it's done, I'm proud of myself and I'm glad I did it. So after that would have to be this life update I did halfway through the year. I wanted to get back into filming because I didn't post a lot of videos this year. I posted a lot of vlogs, but didn't film a lot of videos. And I wanted to do just a bit of a life update, catch you up on things I think are happening with Aiden, and because I felt like we didn't properly explain things in vlogs, and the makeup look I didn't turn out 100% how I wanted it to. I was having a hard time speaking because I didn't know what to say. I felt like I was out of practice and then I overthink what I'm trying to say while I'm speaking, and I feel like you can see that in the final product. I just wasn't having the greatest time in life. My cat just bit me, my hand was sore, Aiden was gone. I guess it's a reminder of a time in life that things weren't great, even though I was trying to make the best out of it. So that would be my least favorite video of the year. For how many followers I have on Instagram, I have 753 followers. My Instagram does not grow whatsoever, but my most liked post of the year, surprise surprise, is our engagement announcement. I think it's a really cute post. I included screenshots of where we told everyone we're engaged because those were the happy memories I wanted to share and remember, and I wanted to post the pictures of our anniversary trips separately, not all in the one announcement post. So that is my most liked one. But if I have to say my favorite post for the year, it's also engagement related. It's this picture where I posted what my ring looks like. I think she's super cute and now I can actually post pictures like that. So I really like the picture I took in Cape Town on the rainbow walkway, and then all the other pictures of Aiden and us together. I really like that one. My most liked TikTok of the year is a silly one where I was joking about how I never really wear makeup, but when I do, I wear it all out, and ended up getting 77 likes and over 2,000 views. But my favorite TikTok of the year has to be my Halloween wrap TikTok, where I show you all the looks that I did. I'm always obsessed with my own Halloween looks and I'm a sucker for a good transition, so getting them all in the same video, chef's kiss. I love it. The biggest thing that happened to me this year in terms of my academic career is I got to present a poster at the Software Congress in Cape Town this year. And at the time, I thought it was a super big deal. I got accepted to a congress and they wanted me to show my research and they were going to fund me to go and all that stuff. And I sadly told all my other friends that are also doing their masters, oh my gosh, I'm going to a conference and I have a poster I'm going to be presenting. And they're like, oh yeah, no. Yeah, we also do that. All master students do that. And I didn't know it was a pretty normal thing to do. I thought it's because my research was cool. So that was a bit of a bummer to find out, but it was still a fun conference to go to and to get to experience it. Who is my favorite YouTuber right now? I wish I had one. I don't know what to watch on YouTube anymore these days. I watch so much Reddit that I run out of Reddit to watch, but that's more listening in the background. I guess what I'm watching most these days are movies explained for movies that I don't actually care to watch, but would still like to know the plot of. If you have a favorite YouTuber you think I'd enjoy, let me know. I'm looking for someone I can get invested in. Now, before I tell you what I'd like to achieve in the next year, let's look at what I said last year. I would like to get an apartment I really like, and I want to get a place that I'm going to stay for the next few years. That is still true, and we did do that. Kind of, but only this year, not last year. We really wanted to move last year, January, but then things didn't work out the way we were expecting them to, so we ended up just staying where we were. We have found an apartment we like, an apartment where I can see myself staying for a few years. I want to get all the lab work done for my master's. I want to finish it in the minimum time. I don't want to spend 3 years on it. I want to do the mandatory 2 years. So I didn't finish all my lab work this year, and I do kind of explain it in a life update video, but there are a lot of hurdles I didn't see coming. The biggest issue was actually getting the species that I was going to work on, and I still don't have it. So, but even though people say things happen during your masters, you're not going to finish things on schedule the way you're planning, I swear this was above average. Like, I was not supposed to be this delayed. I barely did anything, which is not a fun place to be. I'm not excited about that. But that doesn't mean I can't still finish my master's in the 2 years. Luckily, I have set up my experiment in such a way that it should be easygoing and relatively quick now that I do have everything. And even if we run into other issues, I'm just going to push it, because paying another 12.5K to register for 2-3 more months to just write a paper is not happening. I'm not doing that. So I will finish my master's this year. Not a lot happened this year, clearly, because all the goals I had for last year, I have this year as well. I do want to improve my vlogs, and I actually have a plan for this year. I know what I'm planning on doing now. It's a lot more structured. And I did make a decent vlog last year. I made a Cape Town vlog where I had the whole trip kind of in one video. And I really like how that turned out. I want to do more videos like that. But I wasn't in a place where I could be filming or editing really, which is also why I don't have so many videos this year. I just have vlogs because I still wanted to put out something, and I do still want to document my life. So I edited the vlogs for the sake of editing them. And if that's the mindset you're editing with, you're not going to get a stellar piece of art out of it. But other than retrying the things I wanted to do last year, this year, something I want to achieve is being fit. And I don't mean that in the I want to be skinny because the internet's telling me to type of way. I mean that it hit me like a ton of bricks that I'm turning 25 this year. And I want to be capable and mobile on my own in my 90s. There's already certain things that I thought I could still do when I then tried doing were surprisingly difficult. Like, when is the last time you climbed a tree? It's not a fun feeling to feel like you're not as able-bodied as you used to be. So I want to work on my fitness and my range in motion so that I'm confident in what I can do with my body, and so that I know what my limits are, and that I get a healthy amount of exercise in, because I want to be healthy while I'm still young and able to be healthy. And I know if I tell people I'm trying to get fit this year, their first assumption is going to be, oh, it's for the wedding because we're getting married towards the end of this year. And that's not the case, because I don't believe you should be trying to get fit exclusively for your wedding day. I don't like the whole culture behind that, so I don't want to support it, but I am doing it for myself, and people are going to think what they think, so I've been sharing it on my Instagram story. Now for the question I have been waiting for like a few months is, do I ever get recognized in public with my 2,000 subscribers and 700 Instagram followers? And the answer is yes. I got recognized in public this year, which was so random. So much so that for a second I was like, is this chick just messing with me? But I was just walking on campus, and a student I have never seen before stopped me and was like, oh, hey, I just wanted to say, I really love your Instagram account. And I was like, what? Because I was like busy posting my Halloween stuff, and compared to everything else I posted this year, I was now proud about the stuff I was posting. So the comment came at a good time, but I was like, oh, sorry, where do I know you from? Because I didn't recognize her. And she's like, oh no, you don't know me. I just wanted to tell you, bye. And I was like, okay, thanks, bye. And then how cool that someone would recognize me on campus from Instagram. It was very random, because like, Instagram is not the platform I take care of properly. I just post there when I feel like it. That was really cool. I enjoyed that. And I needed to share. So whoever you are, thank you. It made my day. I texted everyone to be like, oh my gosh, you can't believe what just happened. I got to feel popular for a second. What's the first thing I did this morning? I think it was detach a kitten and its claws from me in bed. I was still sleeping, and she climbed up onto the bed to play with us, and she has sharp little claws. Now, the first happy memory that comes to mind is that I've been having a great time with Aiden now that he's back. We've just been having a lot of fun time laughing together the last while. Like, just before I sat down to come film this, we were listening to music on the TV and singing along and stuff, and I was walking around setting everything up. And we were listening to music by a Canadian band, not a South African band, but this song happened to include South African slang. I don't know if it's intentional or not, but Aiden was just like bopping along, walking, and then when he heard the South African slang, he like froze and spun around to look at the TV, and I laughed so hard at him when he did that. Also, with New Year's Eve, vlogging on the couch, just kind of signing off to my vlogs for the year, and he set a timer for 5 minutes to midnight, so we knew we had to wrap up and get outside. I'd already like unwrapped the champagne bottle and everything was ready to pop. We just had to get outside. So we did a few last things, and Aiden was already on his way out. He was like, come. And then when he got to the door has like a silly key, and he was struggling to get the key to unlock. And in the excitement made like a funny little panicking noise as he like finally got the door open, rushed out, and we popped it just on midnight. And I was laughing so hard. That's how I began the year. The first thing I was doing was like properly laughing. And I'm enjoying our time together compared to where we were last year. The fun we're having with each other now. It's fantastic. The last thing that made me cry, other than me crying of laughter at Aiden the other day and the cats, is I had a headache that was like bordering on a migraine, but it wasn't a migraine. I've had those. They're their own distinct type of pain. So I just had a really bad headache, but it was so bad. And I was just sitting there with like a lone tear, just like trying to not survive, I guess. Like, oh, headaches and migraines can be horrible. But at least I wasn't crying over something bad. The best day of the year was the day we got engaged. What can I say? It was a lovely morning, and then I hit my head. But that didn't ruin the day. Then we got engaged. That was a lovely moment. And then we booked into this super fancy lodge, and we had such a luxury experience. And it was a good day. It's pretty hard to top that if you're just like sitting at your apartment or going to campus. Like, it was a good day. The worst day of the year, which I should really say this before I say the best day of the year, but either way this is gonna sound crazy, is at the beginning of the year. If you watched the videos, you would have known Aiden and I faced some issues, and it seems super dramatic to like have those type of issues and get engaged shortly after, but it was more a thing that I was aware that we were heading in this direction. You know, there's some problems you can kind of just let slide if you're dating, but I'm not gonna let slide if we're planning on getting married, spending the rest of our lives together. So that explains maybe why these two things happen so close together. But at the beginning of the year, when the argument was basically fix this or we're done, that day we had an argument where I like in detail explained something to him that really hurts me, and I should actually really like I remember the worst day of the year. My brother had an accident and he was in hospital, and he had to get a bunch of stitches and he had to stay the night, and the recovery was quite a while, and it was not a fun day. It was not a fun day. Like, as I'm sure you know, I love my little brother dearly. He's fantastic. He's very special, and we almost lost him. I'm never gonna forget the date it happened on, because it was on 4/20. That's supposed to be a haha funny good day. And it's also one of our month anniversaries. But it hit me a lot harder than I thought it would. I thought I was okay with dealing with things, because I was. I mean, we lost other family members this year, more distant, of course, but that was okay. I could deal with that. I can deal with a lot of things, but this shook me in a way I did not expect. And it took a minute to kind of work through that and be like, okay, these are new feelings, how to deal with them. But I'm now at a point that I can remember and talk about it without just wanting to cry on the spot. So that is definitely progress. And may a day like that never happen again. Am I currently where I want to be in life? Kinda yes, kinda no. I feel like for a 24-year-old, I'm in a pretty decent place, but I feel like for a 25-year-old, I'm not. So I suppose I'm leaning more towards the no side, but still, I feel like I'm on my way to where I want to be in life. I feel like the life I want is within reach. We're gonna be there so soon. So I'm not stressed about not being where I want to be in life. What do I have now that I didn't have a year ago? Is this dress I'm wearing. I always try and wear a dress that's like my favorite dress of the year for these videos. And I am wearing the dress I wore to our engagement party that I made myself. I'm very proud of it. It's not fantastic, but it's definitely a dress. But there's two other things I have now I didn't have last year. Number one is I have 2 crochet hooks. And that happened. I got into crocheting really quickly this year. We also got this little thing. We were only supposed to get her this week, but we ended up getting her in December. And she's so cute. And here's the fiance in his PJs, having a good day.
Not quite dressed up.
So I guess that's also new. I have a fiance now. Didn't have one of those last year. And you also have a ring, see? Matchy match. Now this whole thing is adorable. Her name is Spinach. And she's already growing, but she's still small. She's still a little baby.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, you can take her.
Do you want me to take her?
You see what I mean about the claws? Goodbye! What is the most important thing to me right now? That is investing in ourselves and our future. I think this is the time of life to do that. Not just do I want us to be more healthy, I also want us to get health insurance. I want us both to start setting up our careers a little bit more. I want to start with investments, retirement funds, stuff like that, so that I don't end up where my parents are right now. My parents were dealt an interesting hand in life, and I'm now seeing them worry about their futures. And I don't want that for myself. I want to do what I can now to make sure we're prepared, and just so that we do the smart things. What am I struggling with most now? Sleeping. I'm not a good sleeper. I have a hard time falling asleep. I wake up really easily. I wake up really early. I don't sleep through the night, so I'm always tired. And it's such a ridiculous problem to have. Who doesn't know how to sleep but struggling with sleeping? And I try and do all the things. I sleep in a quiet room. I have an eye mask. I go to bed early, and still here we are. So that's what I'm struggling with most now. Now let's see how I described myself today last year. A year from now, I see myself midway in my master's, probably still very involved with the university, not in a committee, okay? I want to be done with committees. I did Nat House EC for 2 years. I'm doing I am done with committees. I didn't sign up for another committee. I was so tempted to. I mean, like, it would just be so easy, you know, just put my name on the ballot. Let me just try one more time. But no, I didn't sign up for another committee. I am done now. I'm proud of myself because it was surprisingly hard to put a stop to it, but it was time. I think a year from now, I'll know a bit more about where I want to go with my channel and stuff, seeing if I've grown or not. And in a year from now, I think I'm either going to be single or engaged, and not in a the man better propose right now type of way. Your girl knew what she was talking about. I knew the path we were on. What can I say? And I'd also like to see myself just like presented a little bit better. I've been basically living out of a suitcase this year. Everything's been a little bit I want to know a bit more about how I want to present myself and not just wear the only thing I have. Still essentially living out of a suitcase because we're still living in the tiny apartment. I feel like I have a hard time being presentable because everything's so packed away. Like when I'm at home, I have to like take my makeup out of a box if I want to use it and then put it back in afterwards. I need to like walk around something and shuffle out a drawer to get to some of my clothes, so I can't just wear the stuff that's hanging and accessible. So I really think upgrading to a nicer apartment will fix that. I'll actually be able to access and see all my clothes and do my makeup and do my hair and have a mirror to look at myself and actually see what I look like and see if I like it or not. I'm looking forward to it. A year from now, I see myself being married. I see myself with a master's degree, just waiting for the ceremony. I see myself wearing a lot more things I made myself. And I see myself with some kind of good news. I feel like life's gonna start happening when I'm like wrapping up my studies and all that type of stuff. So I feel like life's gonna start happening now that, you know, we're getting married and I'm finishing up my studies. So I feel like now's the time when more stuff keeps happening. Like you get a good job or you move, something like that. Now, the advice I gave myself last year is this. You should really prioritize balancing the duality that is your life. I'm aiming to be, you know, a functional 24-year-old that has a normal life and normal friends, but also still being a student. And don't fall into the trap of just being a student like you're still in second year and kind of falling out of sync with your peers as a result of that. But also don't get too focused on being a functioning adult and neglecting studies. So I think prioritize balancing those two appropriately. I'm supposed to be finding myself in this time of life, not losing myself. Now, I solved that problem by having friends that are doing the same things I'm doing. We are all functional adults. It's kind of good to see that there's different categories of people that exist, and all of these categories are still functional adults and doing what you should be doing in life, even though they're doing different things. And finding friends who are doing the same thing I'm doing helped to show me that I'm not behind, because it's easy to feel like I'm behind in life when I'm looking at other friends that are already working because they went to work straight after school, or people who got married at 22. And consequently, you see people buying cars, buying apartments, and you feel behind. And maybe sure I am, I don't own a car. And sure, maybe I am, I don't own my own car, but I also have 2 more degrees than they do. So these are the trade-offs in life, and it doesn't mean you're behind. Now, I don't know what advice I'd have for myself for a year from now. I feel like I have no idea what my life's gonna look like then, so how can I give any type of advice? But I think I'm gonna go with, just because everything is starting now doesn't mean these are the only opportunities you'll ever have. For example, if a job opportunity pops up, that's great, but you don't like it, you can turn it down. There will be other opportunities down the line. Now, what did I think I'd be worried about now? I feel like there's the potential to be worried about my family. Like, there were a few health scares this year. And again, she was correct, unfortunately. Like I mentioned, almost lost my brother this year. We lost both of Aiden's grandmothers this year. His grandfather isn't in great health. My mom currently isn't in great health. So there are things to worry about. Like, I'm hoping my mom gets better. And I guess it's something you're never not worrying about because chronic issues don't go away. It's an interesting situation. But I think what I'll be worried about a year from now is how to adapt to changes while still doing all the things I want to do. I think if things change as much as I hope they do, it'll be an adjustment. And it's something to worry about, because it's hard to shift your life, but it's a thing that has to happen, and it'll be good at the end of the day. Now, I usually had the question of, do you have a boyfriend? But I've had a boyfriend since I started these videos, and now I have a fiance, which you know about. So take a shot every time I show you my ring, but I'll include this question one more time next year so I can be like, no, I don't. I have a husband. And then I think we'll retire this question. What good movie did I watch this year? You know, you'd think that's a hard question to answer considering all the big movies that came out this year. I mean, the whole Barbieheimer thing was a thing. And even though I watched both of those movies, I think the best movie I watched this year was Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I think that's what it's called. We went to watch it on my birthday and I thoroughly enjoyed it and I'm really excited for the next one. Now, what meme do I reference the most? I don't think this is a meme as much as it's slang, but I'd often say she cute when I'm talking about myself, or I say she cute when I just like made a dessert or something that I'm really proud of. So for my embarrassing story of the year, I don't have one. I made it through the year and there is nothing embarrassing that comes to mind. I'm sure if you ask all my siblings, they'll be like, oh yeah, no that. But as far as I'm concerned, this was an embarrassment-free year. Yay me. So, for 3 predictions. The 3 predictions I made last year were kind of wrong, kind of not. I predicted that we're going to have a big expose about a family vlogger's kid coming out. And while there wasn't one that took the internet by storm, people are talking about family vloggers and their kids. But there hasn't been like one specific kid who came out and was like, I grew up like this and these are all the horrors. Not that I know of, at least. We did make a bunch of cool new space-related discoveries, but nothing that freaked out the general public with the new James Webb telescope, so I missed on that one. And lastly, no, knee-high socks did not make a comeback. Apparently, funky peep toes are making a comeback, and I did not guess that, so... Which was such a bummer, because the year before that, I made some pretty good predictions, but let's try. For the coming year, I predict that... Can I say my mom's probably gonna be late to the wedding, because she's late to everything? I predict there's going to be a really big publicity stunt that people are gonna find out about and be very upset about. I predict that an African government's gonna be overthrown this year. Not necessarily ours. We have elections coming, so we never know. And then lastly, I predict that there's gonna be a TikTok trend where you have to film upside down in water. Let's go with that. So I think that is all for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you feel like it, feel free to answer all these questions in the comments. I'll put them in the description if you want to see them. But I always have fun just doing these videos. It feels like an annual reset of sorts. It shows that the year is beginning, even though it goes up in like February sometimes, but it's fine. It's fine. The year begins when you choose it does. But that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you again next time. Bye-bye! We now have this little thing. Oh, come, do you want to send it to the internet?
Hello, internet. It just woke up.
Stop always being so precious.